Welcome back to part 3 of Calcast, which talks more about the nutritional side of things. Today we're going to go into more of the macro side of it, your proteins, your fats and your carbs. But to start off, we're going to pass you over to Ryan, who's going to talk more about the Eatwell plate, which kind of dumbs it down a little bit more, just so it's a bit more simplified, and we'll go from there. Over to you, Ryan.
Yeah. I believe it's now called the Eatwell Guide.
Guide, okay.
Yeah.
Why? Because people don't generally eat on plates anymore, it's more like a wooden board.
But no, I think it's just because people always thought, oh, this much needs to be vegetables, this much needs to be carbs, this much needs to be protein, which isn't always correct because, like, nuts, very small, very high in calories, for example.
Yeah.
We'll go more into that later on in this episode. So I think as a guide, it was like, this is how much you should be having of this type of thing. I think that's what it's done, but yeah, you've probably seen this during high school food technology lessons. It's basically the plate that's split into like 5, some of them are now 6 sections, depends on which one you see, where a third of it is going to be your fruits, vegetables, that sort of thing. Another third is going to be your carbohydrate sources. These are your potatoes, bread, rice, other starchy carbohydrates. Then we've got a section which is our fish, eggs, meat, that sort of thing. It's like 1/6 or so of the plate. We're now into like this bottom portion. Then you've got your milk in another one, which is your dairy and other alternatives. And then you've got your sugars, your oils, your spreads, which is a tiny amount.
Yeah, because that's so high in calories.
Yeah, it's stuff that you can have as a treat every now and then, but shouldn't be a main staple in your diet, essentially.
I'm assuming now they've probably got like a vegan Eatwell guide as well. I'm assuming, possibly.
I'll have a look if.
Imagine there's one. We can put these up on the screen.
Yeah.
So we'll show people.
Yeah, so
Obviously, not everyone eats dairy and stuff like that, so I'm assuming they've probably made one that can compensate for both.
I'll have a quick look now if I'll let you two sort of break down those elements a little bit more. So if we start with fruit and veg is probably going to be the best one to start with.
Yeah.
If you want to take it?
Fruit and veg, they technically come underneath your carbohydrate category, because they are full of carbohydrates, a lot of sugary carbohydrates, and some fibres in there as well, especially in the vegetables. So they should make up a lot of your carbohydrate source, particularly the vegetables more so than the fruit, just because the sugar content is lower. Great source of micronutrients as well, so your different vitamins and minerals. But yeah, they should be a really nice large portion of your plate every time. Alongside your meats, if you're that way inclined, and also more starchy carbohydrates such as pasta. So breaking it down in terms of macros, Ross, how much protein should you have each day if you want to build muscle mass?
What, just in general, or just for
if
you're looking to gain size? Well, I'll always go under this assumption it should always be more than what you weigh. So I've always done it down to each per gram protein to a kilo what you weigh, essentially. So, for example, I'm 80 kilos. So if I wanted to maintain my muscle mass, I should be getting at least 80 grams of protein per day.
Yeah.
If I wanted to build more muscle, bigger size, I should be in more than that. So I always go under the assumption it should either be greater than 1.25 to 1.5 protein in my diet, basically. So if I wanted to gain more muscle, I should be eating at least more than 100 grams per day, basically. If you're more into the extreme side of stuff, like if you're a bodybuilder and stuff like that, most of those guys kind of eating double. So if you are 80 kilos, you'd be eating at least 160 grams per day.
So the research on that is very varied. Loads of different studies have different figures. The highest figure, the one that I stick to, because really you can't have too much protein, I like to make sure I'm covering all the bases, is 1 gram per pound of body weight.
Which comes out 2.2.
2.2 per kilo.
And I think some research shown that anything more than 2.5 is like at that point you're sort of just wasting it. But I think 2 seems to be sort of the generic point to go to. If you're sort of talking 1.5 to 2.5, then you're averaging out 2.
Yeah, you're well in that.
I would say you
muscle building. So
always start low, gradually increase it, just so you know how much protein you get in a day. The good thing about protein, if we're going to talk more into the kcal side of it, protein every gram is roughly about 4 kcals per gram protein. Fats, massive jump up, it's 9 kcals per gram of fat, and then your carbs is 4 kcals per gram of fat, carb. So the more fats you're eating, the more kcals they're going to be carrying. Obviously with your protein and carbs they're a lot smaller, which is generally why you can eat more of them. Because obviously they carry more of a, or less of a kcal.
that's where things like oils in your cooking, it's really easy to take in so many more calories than you think. Because just that teaspoon of cooking oil, that contains so much calories just from all the fats in it. So if people think they're not eating very much, but they're still getting loads of calories in just from this oil, that's why people don't tend to lose weight, because they're overlooking the small things.
That's why it's good to get the sprays now. Because obviously
the
per
1
spray is
spray.
1 kcal in it. But
Do be careful with that with eggs though.
Oh,
I
God.
found if I cook with eggs, with that, they explode. Yeah.
there's a good important information.
Health and safety, guys, your eggs will explode with the 1 cal spray, so not good for those.
Like how so? What, like you just hold it near and it goes boom?
But if you put it in the pan, and obviously crack your egg into the pan, it'll be cooking away nicely. All of a sudden, it'll just explode. Literally, poof, egg everywhere.
How many sprays?
Did you do it?
Not loads.
Have you done it more than once?
Yeah, every time I've cooked eggs.
So it's like okay, that's a bit weird. Let me just try that again.
Yeah, it's happened multiple times.
Are we cooking fried eggs or are we cooking scrambled?
Fried eggs. Just frying eggs with the 1 cal spray, same as you would normally use it to fry something, and they explode.
Have you sprayed it afterwards? So you've got the egg and then just sprayed it on top?
On top of the egg? No, I haven't done that.
Maybe we have to do that.
Why would I do that?
Because if you go completely on subject here, but cooking eggs on Calcast. So if you cook with oil, you normally should pour that kind of hot oil on top of the egg as well to help cook the yolk.
The yolk.
Yeah, yolk.
Yeah. I'll give it a go. But yeah, they just explode.
I'm going to have to try this now because I want to explode an egg.
Yeah, back on track.
To get back on track, you asked me earlier about the vegan Eatwell plate.
Yes.
There's nothing official from like the NHS or anything like that. There's 2 main ones that are coming up. One is an actual vegan Eatwell plate where it seems to just take away the meats and those sort of sections and basically added it to the fruit and veg.
Yeah, does it add in things like legumes and lentils?
The other way to do it is just go off your regular Eatwell plate and then the foods you can't eat, have a substitute. Which seems really obvious.
But make sure you're replacing the macros for the same macros. So if you were to take away your protein in the form of meat, make sure you get that in the form
That's
of veg.
basically what it's saying.
Yeah.
So
if you take away all the meat and then
like-
replace it with carrots, you're then not getting the protein you're going to need. So you're going to need something like lentils or different types of beans to make up that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much what it says. For example, the meat fish one, it's saying just include a variety of pulses, nuts, seeds.
Yeah.
Eggs, if you're vegetarian, obviously if you're vegan, then you're not going to have eggs. But yeah, it says just ensure you add adequate quantity of protein, vitamins, minerals, etc.
That's fair
Talking about
enough.
adequate protein as well, important thing to remember for people, if you are trying to lose weight and monitoring your calories, you still want to keep your protein at that same level to maintain your muscle mass.
And it's very satiating as well, protein, which means you're going to feel full a lot quicker than if you're eating carbs. It's very easy to overeat on carbs. It's very hard to overeat protein.
Yeah.
Like if you put out loads of chips, for example, you're going to be able to eat a lot more of them than if you put out a load of steaks.
Yeah, you're not going to get through a bowl of steaks. But yeah.
That's right. If we go into more of the macro side of it, so Alex, do you want to explain why carbs are important?
Carbs are what your body uses for fuel. They're your body's preferred fuel source because they're the easiest to convert to glycogen, and that's what your body uses for energy. So yeah, carbohydrates very important. If you completely cut out your carbs, you're starving your body of its primary fuel source, the one that it likes the most, that we're biologically supposed to use. So really important to maintain adequate carbohydrate intake to fuel your workouts.
Keto diet.
Yeah, the keto diet, it works. It does work. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a thing. No one would do it. But I wouldn't say it's particularly healthy.
Well, for those with epilepsy, it's been shown to reduce the amount of seizures. There's been some science to show that.
It is a very special population, though.
It is, yeah. You're talking sort of, I think it's maybe 1 or 2% of the population have epilepsy. But
or if you're intolerant to carbs, which some people are.
Yeah. The other population that I think is often neglected when we start talking about diet, which should be the main topic, is does it suit you? If you just enjoy eating lots of meat and not really many carb sources, and you can stick to a keto diet, then do a keto diet.
Yeah, it's what works for you. So the diet that is the best one for you is the one that you'll stick to.
Yeah, exactly.
Just make sure you're getting those fats in as well, because obviously that is an extra energy source as well. Let's say it carries more of a calorie content than carbs as well, so obviously you're going to get more calories from that, which is obviously better for energy, but your body does take a lot longer to break that down. Hence why it's harder to fat burn.
Healthy fat intake is important for bodily function.
Always go with the good fats, not your trans fats.
Well, some saturated, but limit your saturated fats as well.
Your body needs it just for because I always get asked the question, how do you burn fat around the stomach area? And if you know why you carry most around the stomach area?
Well, I know it's individual to every person where they carry most, but genetically...
It is more as well for survival as well, because if you think about it, you've got your rib cage, which is protecting your heart, your lungs. Down here, you've got all your other organs. Exactly, but if you're carrying more fat around here and you take an impact, it's going to protect your organs at the end of the day. So you carry a little bit more around here just for that.
Best way to protect it.
Can't wait for the questions to be, why do I carry all the fat on my... I'm not going to say it again, I got bleeped in the last one. Bum. Yes. What's that protecting?
Back to your question, how can I burn fat around my belly area, though? The simple answer is you can't target it.
No.
You cannot target to burn your belly fat. It's impossible.
Exactly. No.
Yeah.
You lose it where you lose it. Some people lose it around their face first, or lose it from your hands, your arms.
Mine's always shoulders, arms, a little bit in the face and back, and then my last bit to go is sort of the love handle area.
Yeah. Which is generalised for most people, because that's where you generally tend to store the most there anyway, just because, as I say, more survival thing, more than just just gets stored there.
But anyone trying to tell you that they can give you this pill that's going to burn belly fat, they're conning you. Run away.
There are certain...
And if you run away, you're going to burn some body fat.
there are certain foods and certain, green tea, for example, that has been, researched a bit that can help break down fat, whether it's specialised in certain areas. It's completely benign, but it can help. But we're not going to
any fat burning supplements as well. Anything like thermo enhancers to raise your body's temperature. Anything they do will be a very short-term effect. It will not be chronic, long-term.
I think people need to realise it's like a pyramid. The main thing, the biggest part of the pyramid at the bottom, is your calorie deficit if you're looking to lose weight, or calorie surplus if you're looking to gain weight. So it's all about the in versus out. The bit that we're talking about right now, like this whole micronutrients and these fat burn and all that sort of stuff, and green tea extract, we're right at the top of the pyramid, that small little bit. And if you're not doing everything else below,
it's just
you're not going to get to the top.
Yeah. And things like that, thermogenics, your body will just adjust. It'll be used to it.
That's fine, man. So we'll go on to the last macro. Ryan, do you want to take it away? Protein. Why is protein important to the body?
Well, protein is our primary source or primary body function in aiding growth and recovery of our muscles. If you're training in the gym, specifically resistance training, then you're going to require adequate amount of protein in your diet to try and prevent that soreness from lasting. Because one of the main reasons people don't go and do a gym workout is, ow, I still feel sore from the other day, I don't want to go and work out. Having an adequate amount of protein isn't going to cure that entirely, but it's going to help,
improve your recovery a lot.
Even if you're not doing resistance training, even if you're doing cardio, you still need a high amount of protein just to recover from your muscles working out while running and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
and it's not just muscles; it's all soft tissue. Protein, amino acids are the building block of life. It helps in everything. So our ligaments, our tendons, our skin, etc. Everything is helped by having that adequate protein, and it's actually our last survival source of energy as well. So we obviously have carbs as our main source, fats as our secondary source. In the extreme cases of starvation, if you're stuck in the Sahara Desert with nothing to eat, your last thing we'll start to do is break down the protein, your own muscles, which is basically at the point that your body's like, I need to survive, I will eat myself till. That's not something to aspire to. Don't try and teach your body to convert protein to energy.
But this is another reason why to keep your carbs and your fats inadequate as well, because obviously if you're not getting enough of them, your body's going to be like, right, I'm going to start breaking down this part because I need that energy.
Yeah, we're talking like severe rates of hunger and dehydration at the point where your body has to start using your own muscle.
If you get to the point where you're feeling a bit peckish, don't think like your biceps are going to disappear, because they're not. Your body's got a lot
I haven't had for a while, I just need to double check.
Your body's not that delicate, but
and hopefully it leaves the biceps to last.
Yeah, I mean they're the most important muscles.
Yeah.
Could you imagine you're just stuck in the Sahara Desert, you're like whiffing away everywhere. You've got massive biceps, so it's like, it's all good.
Find a rock to curl, just keep the biceps.
Keep the pump. You touched briefly on amino acids. So amino acids make up all protein, don't they? That's what your body's made from.
Essentials and your non-essentials.
Big supplement that companies try to push people is BCAAs, so branched chain amino acids. So I want our viewers and listeners to know, buying BCAAs alone is a complete waste of your money. They're going to push them on you, and they're really well advertised and marketed, but they're not a complete chain of amino acids, so it's not a complete protein source. Just those ones alone, they're not going to get you results. You're much better spending your money on a complete protein source. Maybe that's a whey protein. That's easily absorbed by your body. That or a plant-based protein alternative. But as long as it's a complete protein source. If you didn't want that, you'd be better off getting EAAs, so essential amino acids. That's the complete 9 essential amino acids that your body can't produce itself. Don't waste your money on BCAAs. Get something much more substantial for you instead. Just a money-saving tip.
Yeah, unless you want your drink to taste really nice in the gym, in which case they're great.
Yeah, or you could sign up to Yanga at the gym group for £4 a month.
I'm going to have to tell Jamie about that.
Jamie dislikes the video.
I won't give my point on BCAAs at this point. But have you got anything else to say on macros and stuff like that, or?
I think we've summed it up fairly well.
No, I mean, if anyone has any questions, they can ask below or send us a message on our social media.
Comment, message, email, anything you like.
Slide in our DMs.
Yeah. Always slide. Moving on from there, we'll see you next time. Cheers for now.
Worse than round out. Always slide. Me and Alex are just like, what?
That's why I got it.